Okay, hello YouTube. Let's just check it's actually recording now. Because I just trying to re-record this. My previous recording disappeared. Okay, so I just wanted to chime in on the whole Sony PlayStation Classic, NES and SNES mini consoles and stuff. And I know a lot of people are criticizing it for not having the right games and oh, it's just emulation, it's PAL instead of NTSC and whatnot. And I just wanted to give you my opinion on this whole debacle. The thing is, I really don't think any of the classic consoles, be it the NES Classic, the SNES Classic, the Nintendo called them minis, I think, whatever. The Sony PlayStation Classic, the C64 Mini or Classic, I don't think any of them make sense. The thing is, you can go out and build something like this. This is a Retropie inside of here, or a Raspberry Pi running Retropie. I bought a kit with the Raspberry Pi, the power supply, the memory cards, a case, not this case, a different case, but it had a case. I got two controller pads, SNES joypads for it, all for about 100 euros. And that's roughly what most of these classic consoles or mini console cost at launch anyways. And the thing is, with something like this, you can not just run that one specific system, because let's not kid ourselves, the only thing this system does is run emulation. And actually it was proven that PlayStation Classic actually uses one of the cores you can get on Retropie, so it's exactly the fucking same thing. But the thing is with Retropie, you can run not just that one specific system that you bought there, you can run like hundreds of different systems you can emulate. Pretty much anything from the 8-bit era, the 16-bit era, and a few things beyond that, like the PlayStation and N64. Actually, N64 emulation runs pretty decently on the latest Raspberries. The Model 3B Plus runs even N64 pretty great. But even if you don't want to go out and buy this and set it up, I mean, if you've got something like this lying around, an old laptop, that will do the job just fine. This is I think this is, let's see if it has a date code on. No, I don't think so, but this is 6, 7, 8 years old. It's got an i5 processor, just Intel integrated graphics, and this runs pretty much everything that this does. Maybe even, I even think it could emulate PlayStation 2 okay-ish if you wanted to as well. So if you've got an old laptop lying around, it could probably run Retropie pretty decently. So that's an alternative. But then you say, well, but it comes with the, you know, like the original controllers, and you know, it's just so nice. Well, you want your NES controller? Is that what you want? USB. Well, okay, not NES. Well, is N64 your poison? Well, you can get that. No, but oh, you must a Sega guy? Well, you can get that. Again, USB. Or maybe it's the NES. Focus, you fuck. Come on. Well, it doesn't want to focus suddenly. Why the fuck are you not focusing? There we go. Yeah, you can get an NES controller. You can get... Oh, you want PlayStation? Well, just go and get a PlayStation 3 controller. It's Bluetooth. It'll connect right up. No problem. You want something more modern? You can use your 360 controller, Xbox One controller, whatever. From any of the major systems all the way back to the start of the 80s, you can probably get a USB replica of that controller. I'm just saying, so that's not an issue. The only thing that's really going for the actual, well, this looks like a American style SNES. I've 3D printed a PlayStation style case. You can get cases in most styles you want as well, so you can get the system to look pretty much like you want. So the only thing that's really they've really got going for them on these classic systems is that they've actually licensed the original games. The thing is, nobody really cares about those licenses anymore, or the copyright on the actual games at least. Maybe the licenses, I mean, are still valid because you're still making sequels to Mario and so forth. But the actual original games, I mean, unless they are on like the virtual console for the Switch or whatever, then you can't actually buy this game. Nobody's making money of these games, and if you know how to use Google, you can find these games. Google's not even blocking those sites like they are with some torrent sites and stuff, but you can get most of games that are more than 20 years old. You can find them on the internet. You can download them. You can just stick them on here. It's not even hard to do. You don't even have to use like a USB. If you hook this up to the network, you can just have a network shared folder and just drag and drop the games straight onto it. They show up in the menus instantaneously, and you're good to go. So, I mean, if you're into retro gaming, you really have two options. You've got emulation and you got original hardware. Original hardware, if you really want the full-on experience, like feeling, you know, blowing the cartridge and plug it in and feeling that friction, or sitting and waiting to load a game off a cassette tape on this Commodore 64 or something, you know, then go original hardware, you know, if that's the experience you want. I do have quite a bit of original hardware, like you've seen in my other videos. I've got all the Commodore, old Commodore computers, but I've also got actually a Sega Mega Drive. I've got a PlayStation 2 or 3. So I've a Nintendo Wii. So I've got quite a bit of different hardware as well. Most of the whatever. But you've got that option. And if you're worried about, oh, I don't want to pirate the games, well, especially for the PlayStation Classic, it's so fucking easy to just go out and buy the actual games. You know, go to your secondhand store, thrift store, or go onto eBay and buy the games if that's what you really are really concerned about, and you get exactly the games you want, not just the 20 that Sony decided to put on the thing, but you get exactly what you want. And it's just a CD-ROM. You can read it on any PC, so you can just make an image and throw it at Retropie, and you're up and running. There's not really any copy protection on it. The copy protection for those games were on the physical disc that read the inner groove to verify that this was actually not a copy and stuff. But you can easily make a copy. It just wouldn't run on an unmodded PlayStation, and there wasn't any emulators back in the day that could actually do that as much. It was Bleem, but yeah. Anyway, you want to know about the copy protection, go and take out the Technology Connections. He's got a great video on that. I just remembered, totally off topic really, but yeah, you can do that. The cartridge-based systems is a bit harder, but you know, you could buy the cartridge and then download the ROM. You know, that will kind of be okay, I guess. But my point is, it's not hard, and what you're getting with these mini system, it is just emulation, and the PlayStation Classic actually uses an emulator core that's available directly in Retropie, so it would be pretty much the exact same fucking experience. Maybe even better on the Retropie, because it's the hardware in there, in the latest Raspberry models, are actually a bit more beefy than these classic or mini systems has, so you might even get a better experience on the Retropie. So, I mean, if you want to emulate stuff, these classic mini style systems is possibly the worst way to do it, in my opinion. There's so many better ways to do it. So the only people I see buying these, or actually where I think it's a good idea for them to buy it, is if you're like a collector and you just want, you know, every system that Nintendo ever released, every system that Sony ever released. Fine, go and buy the damn thing. But for most people, there's way better options, and option that makes a lot more sense. That's my opinion. So either go original hardware or go emulation. But if you go emulation, don't buy the classic systems. You know, buy a decent system that can emulate a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be expensive. Like I said, a Retropie setup you can get up and running for about €100, no problem. And yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, these mini systems. That's what I'm trying to say here. Unless you're a full-on collector and just need everything ever released by a certain company and stuff, yeah, go and buy it. But other than that, it doesn't make sense. But what are your opinions? I mean, I'm sure some of you think they are great, or some of them agree, or some of you agree with me, or you're somewhere in between. Leave a comment down in the comment section. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content regarding this and other old computers and various technology subjects. Have a look through my previous videos and see if something you like. Then hit that subscribe button. Yeah, and Merry Christmas, everybody. It's almost that time anyway. We're into December, so pretty soon. Take care, everybody.